NLX2 crew, Merry freaking Christmas. New Year's is right around the corner. COVID vaccine is out. Hopefully, we find some new normal coming soon. Till then, you got a date on the NLX2 podcast. Just listen up. We'll give you the down low, and things will be fine. However, today actually can tie in a little bit to COVID and how that can affect you and overall health. But we're going to be going over some fun stuff that I love to geek out about, questions that I get very frequently asking what I take, what I should take, what product, what brand, what store. So we're going to go over the ins and outs of supplementation. The ins and outs of this Wild West, this industry that has completely taken the world by storm and doesn't have the regulations that maybe it should. So we will go over that. We will get into the good stuff. But first, we'll get into the even better stuff. I mean, this is giving you guys free money. This is giving you discounts. Let's go. The Iron Chapel, strength and conditioning at its finest, geared at maximizing athletic potential and general population. Groups, one-on-ones, couples, individuals, whatever you need, we have it. Come check it out. Downtown Dickinson. We are just east of the post office. It's a hell of a time down here. So come check us out. Next, this ties directly into the podcast we're doing today. Listeners of this podcast, after you listen to this podcast, I want you to go to Instagram. You're already on your phone. Go to Instagram. Go to my Instagram, Coach_Wortman. Go to the link in the bio and click on it. Let's get you cheap supplements. Nutridyne is a medical supplement company geared towards the underlying causes of disease and performance. When we marry those two things together, it's a beautiful thing. Today we'll go over why I choose them, why I only recommend two companies out of the hundreds of thousands that there are. Two. So listeners of this podcast, you're getting 20% off all supplements store-wide, free shipping over $50. Just, it's a great deal. Let us help you. Let us get you exactly what you need, the minimal effective dose that whoever you are needs. So, again, no guest today. We get to go over some very fun stuff that I'm interested in, and stuff we get questions about all the time. So usually for people out there that want to build a podcast or want to build content, look at your day and look and analyze the questions that you get over and over and over. This is one of those questions. What should I take? How much? What company? What product? And how much of it? So this is something that I get a ton, and this is why we will put a podcast out for all you guys that want help with your supplementation. It's a very weird industry, man. There's not a lot of regulations. There's 50 different products that say they can do the same thing or better. So I get it. If it's not your day in, day out, 9 to 5, you just want somebody to tell you this is what you need to take. So instead of going to GNC Complete Nutrition and having an 18-year-old yoked guy say, bro, this is the best testosterone booster I've ever had in my life. Don't do that. Just go to people that are experts. Or on the other end of the spectrum, a soccer mom doing an MLM that has a music degree that is selling supplements. Please make educated decisions. When I go out of my industry, I try to seek out the best. When it's investing, I go to Impact Investing or Dylan Friedrich. When it's car sales, I go to the best. I go to Dan Porter. I go to Charbonneau. I go to these places. I go to Heiser Motors, my boy Cody over at Heiser Motors. I go to the people that do it for a living. I don't go to the people that are on the fringe, that are on the outside of that bell curve. I go to the people that do it every day. So the supplement world is not something brand new. Regulations and how it's taken its own shape and landscape is new. However, we look back, and I wanted to ask and answer the question, where did supplements start? How did supplements begin? And this takes us back to the ancient Roman, ancient Greek days when the Olympics, the biggest sports on stage, these people were competing. They're the best of the best. Obviously, the scientific knowledge and principles and application wasn't there. That's not something that they had at that point, but there was still talks of optimization for the human person. So during this time, we do have documentation that these athletes were, one, changing their diet prior to the Olympics, and we do have documentation showing that people were trying different things to find the most optimal. That is just human nature. That's what we all want. We want the best of the best. We want the new iPhone. We want the biggest muscles. We want the hottest girl. We want all this stuff. It's human nature to do the best. Obviously, again, it's a bell curve. There's people on the outside that don't care about that. But so when we look at the documentation of the ancient Greek and Roman Olympics, we see a lot of talk and a lot of documents about heavy carbohydrate intake, heavy olive oil or your fats, and then very minimal protein. And a lot of the times, due to modern refrigeration and coolant, we're able to keep dairy, such as milk, into its liquid form and keep it for a week or two. Back then, they weren't able to keep these refrigerated items. So what they did is they turned all their dairy into cheese, causing them to have a good fat concentration and a minimal protein concentration, but some. A lot better than what you would think for that time. Animal foods were very, very minimal as they were scarce. So we look at that would be considered a high carb, high fat diet, minimal protein. We look at that now in today's lens, with hindsight being 2020, maybe that's not the most optimal diet. Maybe that's not exactly what you need. At that time, though, it's what they had, and it's what they made do with. And so then we look, and we look further down the line, and then we look at people that were considered trainers or strength and conditioning coaches at the time, people making better people. And we look at how they tried to change and manipulate these diets so that we could get optimal performance. So one of the trainers, I'm gonna stumble on his name, Pausanias. He was a more middle distance, longer distance trainer. He looked at and he evolved all of his runners into a high or very exclusively meat-based diet. So a very high protein diet. Obviously, this is not the best documentation, so we're not going to have the exact of what they were eating, but he said that he wanted all of his runners to have a very high protein animal-based diet. We look at what's huge right now. What grew 10 years ago that just took over the world in the diet world? Paleo and keto. Now, in 2020, we look at the carnivore diet. A lot of the research coming out on the carnivore diet is showing great responses for autoimmune disease, great responses for actually decreasing your body composition, putting on muscle. And so a lot of this stuff is showing that possibly this might be good for a long distance runner. The overall consensus, and this is overall, this is not a exclusive statement. A lot of your high level runners are on one, they still implement a lot of carbohydrates because carbohydrates are very important for performance. But you have like this keto side of people that truly try to stick to fat and triglycerides as their fuel source with supplemented sodium and magnesium. But then we get on the other side of these other people that are actually consuming large amounts of carbohydrates to have the cellular energy to make it through these intense races, Ironmans, marathons, half marathons, even middle distance runners. And so we see this contrast in how these people are running, the performance of these people. And this trainer, Pesanius, I told you I was going to stumble on it. He actually found great success with his middle and long distance runners having a pure animal-based meat-driven diet. And so he began to have gold medals after gold medals after gold medals, just crushing these races. And so we looked at that time, was that the optimal diet? Possibly. It definitely could have been. So we changed from a very carb-heavy, fat-heavy, minimal protein diet, which is what they had, into a more carnivore-esque diet, still big on fruits and tubers and all the good stuff, and veggies, but they had this emphasis on higher intake of protein, being able to carry a better proportion or ratio of muscle mass. And so we were able to see a great evolution into Olympic sports athletes of the ancient world. And so, as I stated earlier, the supplement industry is nothing new. This is human intuition. This is human psychology. Why do you want the new iPhone? Because you want the best. You want the best camera. You want the best memory. You want the best RAM. This is human nature. And so supplements have been around in one form or another, but supplements as an industry are fairly new, and regulations have been coming down the pipe since the early 90s. And so this industry has taken over, and a lot of it came to us during the golden age of bodybuilding. A lot of these guys were endorsing, sponsored by these supplement companies, saying, hey, this is what I'm taking, while they're pumped full of Anavare, D-ball, and Test. So we got at the start of the supplement industry, we got a very skewed view on what we have to take to be successful, and it's just like any other product. The world population, the masses of the population, are going to trust Kim Kardashian's makeup over somebody in Dickinson having their own company making a very good product, but they don't got the Kim Kardashian name, they don't got her ass, they don't got anything. So it's a popularity contest, which sucks, because a lot of people locally, regionally, all over the country are putting a lot of time and effort into this stuff, but they don't get the name and the recognition because they don't have that brand, that following. And so supplements get back to, and the definition of a supplement, and this is something I really want to hammer home, is something that completes or enhances something else when added to it. So, completes or enhances. This is very important. Supplements are exactly what they sound. Supplements are a supplement to our diet. Okay? They either complete the diet due to a lack of nutrients, a lack of macro or micronutrients, or they enhance it when that diet is optimal. Everybody has their optimal diet. I like a lot of the research that's going down to like finding your DNA, finding your ancestry, and mimicking that type of diet. There's a lot of research coming out on that. That's very interesting. However, so something that completes or enhances something else. And so the supplement industry took us by fire when they were saying, this is what I take, and I look like Arnold, or I look like Ronnie Coleman, or Jay Cutler, or all these people. And so we had a very skewed, very, very skewed viewpoint or perspective on the supplement industry. And so how I look at things, very, very simply put, is supplements are not primary, they're secondary. We need to make sure our food intake, our water intake, and our sleep are 100% in check before any supplements are discussed. There might be one possibility of something that you could take that possibly, if a little bit of that was out of whack, it could still help you, and that would be creatine. However, we need to have a secondary approach rather than a primary, because this is something that completes or enhances something that's already there. So I want people to look at supplements as that or as such. Every time I get a high school athlete that comes up to me like, man, I want to be jacked. I want to be all conference. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they're like, what supplement is going to let me do that or enhance me to do that or help me do that? And I look at them and I say, food, sleep, and water. Once you get 8 hours consistently of sleep, once you eat until you are savagely full, and once you drink enough water that you are peeing very, very light yellow or clear, then we can talk. That is when these supplements are actually going to help you and enhance your performance. So first things first, food, water, sleep, then supplementation on top. So this gets us into what to look for when trying to choose supplements. And for many people that know or just listen to the intro, I am affiliated with Nutridyne. Nutridyne is a medical supplement company, I call them, geared towards the underlying causes of disease and performance. They have CrossFit athletes. They have professional athletes all over. But their main thing is high quality testing, high quality purity, and making sure that they have the quality supplement that everybody's looking for. Because if you can take the supplement and see improvement, you're hooked. That's how the supplements work. A lot of times it's this brand awareness or this brand addiction that people get addicted to a brand even though they're putting out subpar products. And we'll get into that later. But first things first, when you're buying supplements, please do not bargain buy. Please do not bargain buy. If you're going to bargain buy anything, toilet paper is probably not that one thing. Buy the off-brand cereal. It tastes just as good. There's some plastic bags that you can bargain buy. Once you're married, you really find out what you can bargain buy. I bargain buy laundry soap. There's some good laundry soaps like the Western Family stuff or whatever you want to call it. There's some really, really good plastic bags, some good plastic baggies that you can bargain buy. Don't bargain buy stuff for your vehicle. So why would you bargain buy stuff when you are talking about your overall health and longevity? We want to make sure that we are giving our bodies the best they can get. And that comes back down to our food quality and our food absorption. Well, in the past 10, 20, 30, 50 years, we've had a steep decline in soil quality, causing the nutrients of our food to decrease as well. If you want to learn more about all this soil depletion and food quality decreasing, talk to my boy Meyer Bond. Guy is literally a soil scientist. He will literally talk to you all day about soil, and he's having the time of his life. Shout out to my boy Meyer Bond. However, me just giving you the basics, we have had a very steep decline in soil quality, causing micro and macronutrients to decrease, causing less absorption in the gut, causing a depleted human. So please don't bargain hunt when you're on the supplement game. Make sure you're getting the best you can. It's not saying Nutridyne is going to cause you, or Thorne is one other company that I endorse, Thorne and Nutridyne. It's not saying that they're going to backstab you and you're going to be paying $500 a month for supplements. But they're going to be very competitive with your Walmart brand, your GNCs, but the quality is there. And you would have to take 8 fish oil to equal 1 of said product. Okay. So that's where it balances out, is the quality of the supplement. So then there's a few companies or entities that a lot of people look to when they're buying supplements. And one would be NSF and one would be USP. So USP is seen a lot in sports. The USADA, your United States Anti-Doping Agency, actually endorses NSF, meaning that they, as a very blanket statement, anything that NSF says is free and clear, you should be good when you're getting drug tested by the anti-doping agency. But what we want to look at very specifically is what these NSF and USP actually tell us. So you've seen the check mark on all different types of supplements showing that this is NSF certified, okay? What does that show us? And very basically, I'll give you the review that they actually do on the supplements. First and foremost is label transparency. When it is NSF certified, it's going to show, and it's pretty much telling you whatever is on this label here is exactly what's in that bottle. There's not any extras, and there's not any type of carcinogens that are associated with that ingredient. So this gives a peace of mind, but this is something that you want to pay attention to. You go to GNC, you go to Complete Nutrition, you go to Walmart, Nature Valley, Spring Valley, all this stuff is not great, people. They're not NSF certified. They're not USP certified. They're not anything certified. They're throwing at you the maximal effective dose. They're throwing at you the cheapest product just because it's fish oil or krill oil, whatever it is. They're throwing very, very cheap products at you guys. Take priority in your health. So label transparency, and then they run a toxicology report. However, this is just showing, hey, we do not have carcinogens in this product. This does not include the efficacy of that product, which is an important statement. So it's only going to say, hey, this is not have any carcinogens, toxins in this product, but it does not run efficacy tests on that product. And lastly, it's going to tell you that there's no undeclared or undisclosed amounts of certain types of supplements or ingredients that aren't on the label, meaning that they can't just throw an undeclared proprietary blend into this product and just say, this is a proprietary blend, because a lot of companies do that. They can put whatever they want under this proprietary blend. They just have to list it, and they don't have to tell how much is in it. So that's an important thing to think about. You do not want something that says it has magnesium citrate in it. How much magnesium citrate does it have in it? And you'll see those little stars that show there's no value associated with that amount of that ingredient. So label transparency, toxicology report, and then there's no undeclared or unestimated amounts of a certain product in there. Very, very good as a blanket to look at your different types of supplements. This is something that you want to always look for. Nutridyne has both of them. Thorne has both of them. These are great companies that are putting the priority, the emphasis on testing, purity, and quality, the most important things, okay? So don't bargain hunt. Look at testing, quality, purity, and look at these different types of certifications that you want there. All these are considered. So anytime you hear a company say they are third-party tested, what that means is the company has to run their own type of testing, okay? But if they're third-party tested, this means that the company that is running the test is not the company producing the supplement. This is very important, very, very important. So look for those things: testing, purity, quality, NSF, USP, and then you want to look at all these things before you buy a supplement. What not to look for in a supplement. This is going to get me on a rant, ladies and gentlemen, so let me get some high-quality H2O real quick. So, what not to look for in a supplement company. First things, and you're probably going to know where I'm going with this, is don't look for an MLM, multi-level marketing company, to purchase your supplements. A very inclusive study, very, very inclusive study showed that 99% of people that get involved with an MLM end up losing money. It's just like how the world's run. The top 1% is making all the money while everybody else is feeding off the breadcrumbs. It's not this voodoo magic. It's not a pyramid scheme. Don't get me wrong. There's a difference between a pyramid scheme and an MLM. A pyramid scheme, there's more emphasis on getting more people in your group rather than selling product. Okay. With an MLM, they say that there's more emphasis on selling product to people rather than getting people under you in a pyramid. So what not to look for? Don't look for an MLM to purchase your supplements. Very basically. And I will go over everything and why I say that. So how does an MLM work? I had my sister ask me this a while back, like, what's an MLM, Colby? And I explained kind of what and the ins and outs of what an MLM is. So an MLM, think of Advocare, Herbalife, there's plenty in the fitness industry, but there's plenty in anything else. You look at Monet, the beauty company, the face skincare company. These are what is considered an MLM, or a multi-level marketing business or company. So you join originally for one reason: to get the discount that these guys are promising you. You're going to join originally to get this massive discount just because you're signing up. Your name usually involves you buying a starter pack or a sample pack or something that you can try all these different products, which then sets you up to start selling to other people. The first thing you want to ask yourself when you're joining an MLM, are you a salesperson? Are you a salesman or woman? Is that what you want to do? 2, do you have the background knowledge to do that, to sell that? Because the biggest issue that I have with MLMs is let's just take a medical scientist and a let's not even say a soccer mom, somebody that has a liberal arts degree. They have zero performance or strength and conditioning or fitness background, now is selling supplements the same as somebody that have had a plethora of experience, a degree to back it up, somebody that knows exactly what they're talking about. So this is where MLMs get scary, because anybody can join and become a contractor, in a sense, to sell this product. Okay? We haven't even got into the product yet. This is just the people. So you join under, you become a contractor, you're getting the first big discount. So now this product that was completely inflated, now you get for a smaller price. How does that work? Okay, I'll show you. I'll get into that. The higher you go up this rung, the more discounts you get, but only if you get more people underneath you. So the more people you have in your team or your flock beneath you, you get these bigger and bigger and bigger discounts, okay? The more people you add, the more discounts you're going to get. So basically, when you see these MLMs around Christmas time, any time around the year, you're seeing 60%, 75% off of these products. This is the biggest sale we're ever going to have, okay? How can a company decrease the value of their product, not service, usually it's a product. How can a company decrease their value of a product by, let's just take 60%. Let's not even get into the 75%ers that I'm telling you about. How can a company do that? It's simple. The product is so inflated that they serve these discounts as you go down the rung, okay? What does this mean? Discounts are amazing. Yes, it makes the product cheaper, but that also means that their overhead, their capital put into that product is much lower, and they're inflating it so that the discounts look sweeter as you go. So this puts zero emphasis on purity, puts zero emphasis on quality, and it puts zero emphasis on testing. The 3 main things you want to look for when you're buying supplementation. This is where I have an issue with it. I told you I was going to go on a rant, and so here we go. This is the issue with MLMs. You are selling an inferior product at a higher price point to people that are new, and you're selling an inferior product to a lower price point to the people that have a bigger team, more people under them, more years in the company. This is where I get upset about MLMs, because people are not getting the products they need. You're not getting the product that is geared to you. You're not getting this type of product. You're getting the product that has the lowest price level, the lowest cost to the lowest cost to manufacture or make, and then they pump that out. So there's this massive emphasis on, because of human psychology, we always want to go up this proverbial ladder. There's this emphasis on discounts. So you can get more discounts when you reach this platinum level. So this is where you want to be careful, because you're not getting the best product. The whole business model is around revenue, obviously, just like any other company, but increasing personnel, increasing contractors, not producing the best product. That is where these are scary. And then number 2 or number 8, whatever I'm at, is the education. Getting into an MLM, there's 0 requirements. You have to pay your yearly due. You have to buy the sample pack, and then you start selling beneath you. There's no prerequisite education for you to actually be a contractor. Yes, many or some provide education once you're in, just the bare minimum so that you can sell the product. Somebody asks you about the product, you need to be able to talk about it. So this is where things are scary. In contrast, or on the other side of the spectrum, being involved with Nutridyne or Thorne or all these different companies, there's a rigorous process that you need to take. These companies put on multiple educational series or processes so that you can really learn about the product. The dumbest I've ever felt in an entire room of people is these doctors and scientists that have developed these products, going to Bismarck, listening to Dr. Sefcek talk. He is an absolute genius. This guy has put his whole life into helping people with supplementation and chiropractic care. And so this is where you need to set these 2 things aside, is there's no education and anybody can do it in an MLM. So you need to find out why MLMs have these massive discounts. Is because the product or the price point is so inflated that it's going to start trickling down as it comes down the ladder. So I'm going to get off my soapbox there. But there's 0 emphasis on testing purity and quality, the things that you need to do. On the other end of the spectrum, has MLMs been great for stay-at-home moms? Yes, I think it's awesome. Has MLMs been good for different passive incomes, secondary incomes? Yes, it's been great. But we got to look at the whole data set. As I talked about, 99% of people that enter into an MLM lose money in the end. So make an educated decision and hopefully talk to somebody that has your overall health and longevity in mind when they're trying to effectively give you a supplement that could help enhance your life. And lastly, on the MLMs is, this just came to mind, there's a difference between the maximal effective dose and the minimal effective dose. So instead of throwing 12 products at you in this sample pack or whatever, the starter pack, throwing 10 supplements at you and seeing what sticks, seeing what is best for Joe Schmo, is different than asking questions, health history, injury history, goals, all this different type of stuff so that you can give them the minimal effective dose, so that you can give them 1 to 3 products that are exactly what they need, exactly what their body needs, and exactly what they're wanting to have for their goals is the way to go. So the difference between an MLM in that maximal effective dose, throwing 15 things at you and seeing what sticks, or a traditional way of finding the underlying issue of your disease or what you want in your performance, and giving you those 1 to 3 products that are actually going to work for you, adjusting accordingly from there. So that's my soapbox. That's my speech. I'm done with it. So now we get into kind of some fun stuff. I had a question from a good friend, a fellow Chi that I graduated with, and a lot of people ask me, like, Colby, what do you take? What are your staples? What are stuff that you take all year round? What is stuff that you cycle in throughout the seasons? So let's get into that real quick. So you can pay attention to the screen here. I'm going to pull up a few different things. So first and foremost, you always hear me talk about creatine, okay? Creatine is something that I've taken for 11 years. I don't plan on stopping taking it. It's something that has boosted my performance to a level that I never thought I could be at, okay? So here's the creatine that I've taken my entire life. Crealkaline creatine. It's a pH-corrected creatine. It's still a monohydrate, which is your main type of creatine, but it's not going to actually give you that bloat. A lot of times in the golden era of bodybuilding, you would get that bloat. You'd look like the Michelin Man after taking a bout of your loading phase and taking a bout of a month of creatine. You start getting that water bloat that people talk about. Very, very, very basically, I've wrote many papers on this, on just creatine itself. Very, very basically, on the cellular level, we intake creatine through red meat and all different types of dietary suggestions, but very basically, creatine helps increase cellular energy at the cellular level. Okay, so we're going to provide our cells with more energy, allowing them to burn and be used in high-intensity exercise. And so that gets us to the point of high intensity versus the low intensity exercise. High intensity is going to be very, very heavy, very fast, and very short. Your low intensity is going to be very light, very slow, and very long. Creatine does not have performance benefits for that low intensity exercise, for that long running, all that type of stuff. Creatine has all its benefits in your short bouts of high intensity exercise, sprints, 1RMs, anything that takes everything you've got for a very short period of time. It's going to help a ton. So this is going to increase the cellular energy that is available to you. And as they deplete, it's going to help replenish those cellular stores much quicker. Creatine is a main driver in our cellular energy, creating ATP. And so this is something that I have taken and will never stop taking for the rest of my life. The thing that a lot of people ask about this, and a lot of people have not read research, they just heard in the 90s and early 2000s, people saying that creatine is very harmful for your liver, your kidneys, or just your overall body. This has been disproven. The amount of research that has been done on creatine outweighs any other supplement in the industry on volume of research done. So this has shown great success with athletes, helping gain strength, helping be faster, helping build muscle. But when you think about it, this allows you, and this isn't scientific, but this allows you to say you are doing 5 squats and it's heavy, heavy, heavy. This is going to help you push through doing more work because you have more cellular energy. So you're able to do more work, which requires more cellular energy. So then once you do more work, then you get the better results. Okay. You get the strength increases, you get the power increases, you get more muscle. So this is just allowing you to do more work. It's not biologically changing anything. It's creating more cellular energy so that there's more work done, giving you a better supercompensation or just a better response. So the research has been very conclusive, showing that there is not negative health benefits associated with creatine. This is the one I take. I was put onto it when I was probably a freshman or an 8th grader, something that I will always take, and it will not change. So that is that. Let's get into this here. Next one would be my vitamin D3. Okay. So during the COVID era is what I'm going to call it, because we look back on our history, it's going to be like the dark ages. You know what I mean? Like terrible times. We don't talk about 2020. Okay. Vitamin D3 has been shown in COVID patients, a lot of COVID patients that have been pushed to the next level of care, meaning going from just needing some oxygen, sitting in the hospital bed or at home, going to the oxygen or going to a ventilator. So increased level of care. A lot of those patients have been showing decreased levels of vitamin D. I don't know the statistic off the top of my head, but there is a very, very compelling statistic of how many of our population in the United States, how many people are actually depleted or have decreased levels of vitamin D. Vitamin D is probably, besides creatine for performance, vitamin D is probably one of the best staples that I have in my regimen, something that I will never stop taking, obviously, in our summer months here, the 1.5 to 2 months we have in North Dakota. You can get vitamin D, but a lot of what the research is showing now is a lot of the studies were done on a population that was outside more, okay? People that were exposed to outside in the sun more. So if you're a laborer on a construction crew and you're outside all day in the summer months, you're going to have sufficient levels for sure. If you are a strength and conditioning coach who is pale white, dang near see-through, and hasn't seen the sun in 6 months, you're not going to have sufficient levels. That's me. So I always take vitamin D3. Throughout this COVID time, there is a toxic level of vitamin D3, and you can get your blood tested to figure that out. But I take 10,000 IUs, 2 of these, or 1 of the 10,000s. It's going to help with your cardiovascular function. It's going to help with mood and stress. But the biggest thing is immunity and allowing you to have an improved immune function. And like I said, a lot of the studies show that a lot of the people that had to have an increased care were depleted of vitamin D. So that's something that I always will take. A lot of people do it seasonally. Like I said, if you're outside all the time, it can be seasonally done, but it's very cheap, okay? As a product, it is very, very cheap. So your price on something like this is $12. So this is something that I take very seriously. This is a great product for people, especially during the COVID era. Next would be a high-quality fish oil. And this is where I really want you to start tuning into a few things I'm going to pull up on the screen. Fish oil, we know that there's many, many great benefits to fish oil, including cardiovascular function. Having enough EPA and DHA triglycerides is something that is imperative to human health, helps with skin. But the biggest thing, the reason I took and started EPA and DHA is the cognitive benefits. Allowing yourself to have an increased protein intake, increase of EPA and DHA allows for more cognitive healing, regeneration. It's a very good supplement for that. And in conjunction with creatine, a lot of creatine studies have shown in your older population of people, 70 to 80, it's actually helping increase cognitive function and rehabilitation. So that's something that is very cool outside of the performance realm. Me being a meathead, it's outside of the performance realm that helps people cognitively. So one thing I want to show you here is a few different labels, okay? So I'm going to pull up here your Nature Valley, your regular fish oil that you would get at Walmart, and then I'm going to pull up a Nutridyne one. And it doesn't even have to be Nutridyne. It could be any company that has a solid product. So let's get this pulled up here. On the left here, this one here, is your Nutridyne supplement. On the right is your Nature Valley. So first, let's take a gander here. So on the on the Walmart brand Nature Valley, here circled in red is your actual contents of EPA and DHA, okay? As you can see, it's showing that you have 128 milligrams of EPA and DHA, of EPA, and of DHA, you're having 60 milligrams, okay? Taking a look at a more concentrated medical supplement of Nutridyne's, EPA content is 1,410 milligrams compared to 128, and DHA, 990 milligrams compared to 60. So, simple math, which isn't very simple for me, so I'm going to use a calculator. 1,410 divided by 128 equals 11. Okay, there's 11 more times concentration of EPA in the Nutridyne supplement. And for DHA, 990 divided by 60 is 16.5. So what this shows us is very basically, and on the very conservative side, to have the same levels of EPA and DHA, you would have to take a minimum of 11 capsules of the Walmart brand as compared to this Nutridyne one. This is the difference, ladies and gents. This is what I wanted to show you guys because this is highly important. The testing, the quality, and the purity of the supplements that you take is the foundation. It's the secret. You got to make sure that you are taking the right stuff at the right amounts. And a lot of blood work is going to show you this, guys. I have a good friend in town, Steve Ersfield, who does my blood work. I'm able to see blood work, and he's giving me recommendations. Hey, you need to increase your EPA, DHA. Things are looking a little off. Your triglycerides are low, whatever the case may be. Blood work is going to help you do that. So what I'm not saying is more is better, okay? This just is a higher quality product, and it has more content of EPA, DHA compared to this one. However, it's on a case-by-case basis. Possibly you won't need 1,410 milligrams, or you won't need 990. You're closer to the 800 to 600 ratio. So this is something that we need to take into consideration. Is it's a very individualized basis and something that you need to know for yourself, okay? Like I said, more always isn't better, but higher quality and more of it could be. It just depends on the case-by-case basis. So moving on from fish oil, ladies and gents, we got probiotics, okay? Something that I've taken for a long, long time due to the decreasing value of our nutrition, the decreasing value of our soils causing less absorption in the gut. And this is something that is a great product. This is something that if you have occasional GI issues or upset stomach or too much gas or inconsistent stool, I recommend a probiotic because you're giving your gut the healthy bacteria that it needs to help absorb food, most importantly. And then it's going to help with immune function because our gut holds a major majority of our immunity. I'm not going to say the number because I know it's in the 70s or 80s, but I don't know it exactly, so I'm not going to just pull it out of my ass. The major majority of our immunity lies in our gut. So this is something that we really need to pay attention to due to the fact that we're absorbing less food and it's less nutrient dense. So this is something that can help give you the bacteria to help allow you better absorption, better digestive function, and just having a healthier immune response to any type of virus, any type of disease. So this is something that I truly, truly believe in that people should take. And lastly, I do take a protein supplement that is just whey protein because my stomach can handle it, and a fruits and vegetables in it. So I have all my fruits and veggies taken care of. But lastly is hydrate. This gets us into another type of conversation that is going to wrap up this podcast. And this is about different types of ingredients, okay? So when we think about magnesium, we have magnesium citrate, we have magnesium L-threonine, we have all these magnesium sulfate. We have all these different types of magnesiums, but what do they do? And that is very, very important in what we do. I know it's hard to see here. Can I zoom in a little bit? Look at that. Gosh, I'm tech savvy. So Hydrate is just a product that provides you with very high quality hydration formula, allowing you to become more hydrated at a quicker rate. It tastes great. This is something that I take. I try to take it every day. It usually turns into every other day, but I drink a very sufficient amount of water, and I have a ton of sodium in my diet. So if you want a sodium supplement, look at Element by my boy Rob Wolf. Great, great product. But this is what I take for hydration. And this is where you want to look at things and say, what type of magnesium is in this, or what type of calcium? A big one right now is what type of collagen. A lot of companies are coming out with collagen products. This may not be the best because I think there's eight or nine different types of collagen. Some aren't even for what you're trying to accomplish: healthier skin, repair of tissues. Some of those aren't even for that. And so this is where we get into this conversation. Magnesium. Okay, I'm just going to go over three because these are most well known, except for the last one, but I'll kind of run you through a crash course. Magnesium sulfate is the magnesium that you could call it the athletic magnesium. It's been used with Epsom salts. It's been used for in baths. It's been used for a supplement to help relax and reduce soreness. Okay, this is something that in the medical field is used in IV bags. So the reason being, there's a high level absorption. You're able to help rehydrate the body because when you're sweating, you're losing a ton of sodium and magnesium. Potassium does have a key role in the human body, but the low-hanging fruit is going to be magnesium and sodium because that is what you're depleting most of. Potassium, yes, but the old wives' tale, all of our parents and coaches, you're cramping up, eat a banana. I would say now, if you're cramping up, get some magnesium, some sodium in you with some water. That's the best thing. That's why everybody has a craze of pickle juice right now. So magnesium sulfate, athletic magnesium, helps with muscle relaxation, reducing soreness, mental relaxation, and it's very easily absorbable in the body. That's why it's used in IV bags. But then we get to magnesium citrate. It's the cheapest form of magnesium. It does have a decent amount of absorption in the body, but to the extent that this is actually going to cause a laxative response. So you're going to have an increased volume of stool and at higher frequencies. So this is something that a lot of products, they're saying, hey, this is a hydration formula. Here's magnesium citrate. That's not the supplement that you need. Okay, so this gets us to that dilemma. I want you guys to think about this. This is a whole profession in itself. When you're looking at a product, you need to know, hey, this is magnesium citrate. This isn't what I need for what I'm wanting to accomplish. I need something such as threonate or sulfate or biglycinate or glycinate. Any type of these is different than just your regular cheapest form of magnesium. You find magnesium and fiber, increased levels of magnesium and fiber in these cleanses, okay? These cleanses that claim, we're going to do a juice cleanse and we're going to fill you up and just tear you down. Not as big as a rant as the MLMs, I'm sorry, but here we go. Juice cleanses just provide your body with too much fiber, causing you to be on the pooper all day, thinking that you are actually detoxing or cleansing, when all reality, you just have too much fiber in your diet and you're pooping your brains out. That's what that is. Increased levels of magnesium citrate is going to cause that, okay? And then we get into L-threonine. Threonate is just a form of magnesium that passes the blood-brain barrier, and this is actually used in Dr. Silverman, Rob Gronkowski's doctor, for his concussion protocol. So increased protein, increased EPA and DHA, and increased magnesium L-threonate, allowing more regenerative of the damage in your brain during a concussion, helps with regeneration of that. So ladies and gents, this was fun for me. I hope it helps. I really, 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 really hope it helps. What I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to post up all these supplements in the notes. I will make a post on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook about these exact products. So I want you guys to realize that I'm here to help. I want the minimum effective dose for every person so that they can have exactly what they need for their goals and their diseases or setbacks. So I will post all the subs up on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. If you guys have any questions, please reach out. And more importantly, after you're done listening to this or while you're listening to this, dude, if 2020 has taught us anything, it's that everything in this life is very fragile. We need to hold on to the things that are very important, and that is family, and that is friends, and that is siblings, and it's all these things that we hold dear in our lives that 2020 has showed us that is so fragile, man. So right now, it's Christmas. You guys are sitting, eating caramel rolls and ham and having a good time, maybe deleting some beers with the family. Enjoy that. Enjoy that time with family. Enjoy everybody around you, the people that love you, the people that pour into you, not the people that take you down. Enjoy this time with people. Have a Merry Christmas. We will be back next week. I appreciate you all. Please leave a review on iTunes, Spotify. And again, you get to see my ugly mug on YouTube. So if you're interested, go to YouTube. Type in NLX2 podcast and we will get you rolling. Have a great day, everybody. God bless. Merry Christmas. Peace.